Hello friends, story time today. Today's story from Sudha Murty, The Magic Drum and other favorite stories. Today's story, The Good Luck Gopal.
Gopal was a good-natured but very dull boy. His father was a learned man and despaired for his son. "You must study hard, Gopal," he would tell his son. "Without learning, you will remain a frog in the well." Poor Gopal tried very hard, but he was rather stupid and could not progress much with his studies. Some years later, his father died. But then Gopal was married and had a family to look after. But no one would give him a job. He was just so silly. One day there was no food in the house, and Gopal's wife said to him, "I have heard that our king is very fond of good literature. Why don't you write him a nice poem? Perhaps he will like it and give you a reward." Gopal had no choice but to agree. He set off to have a bath in the pond before sitting down to write his verse. At the pond, he saw a pig covered in mud, rubbing its back against a tree trunk. The pig was rubbing so hard that Gopal was afraid its skin would come off. So he said, "Don't rub so hard. It is not good for you. It will put your life in danger." Then, unable to think of anything else to write, he put down these words on a palm leaf and made his way to the palace. By the time he reached there, it was evening and the palace gates were shut. The guard refused to let him in. "Please, Gopal," pleaded, "I have an important document for king." One of the guards took pity on him and agreed to leave the palm leaf where the king would see it in the morning. Gopal handed over the palm leaf and went to rest in dormitory. The royal guard placed the palm leaf in king's table for him to see when he wakes up. The next morning, royal barber came to trim the king's hair and was sharpening his knife against a stone. While the king waited for his haircut, just then king's eye fell on the palm leaf, and he read aloud what was written. "Don't rub so hard. It is not good for you. It will put your life in danger." The barber had been sharpening his knife because he planned to use it to kill the king. An evil minister had made him agree to take on the job. When he heard king's word, he was scared out of his wits. The king knew his plan. He fell at king's feet and begged for forgiveness. He also told king about the minister, how he had made the barber agree to carry out the killing. The king got the minister arrested and threw him into the prison. Then he realized the words on the palm leaf had saved his life and wanted to know who had written them. An astonished Gopal was dragged out of bed and presented before king, who showered him with rewards and appointed him as the court astrologer. A few days later, the queen could not find her favorite necklace. The whole palace was in turmoil. Even the king was worried. The queen did not get the necklace soon. He would have to face the consequences. So he summoned Gopal. You saved my life with your divine powers. Now help us find this necklace," he commanded. Poor Gopal, he did not know what to do. Trembling, he said, "I can look at the past and predict the future only when I am alone. Please let me go to my room. I will come to you shortly with the whereabouts of the necklace." Then he rushed to his room, bolted the door, and lamented to himself, loudly cursing his wife for the situation. "Oh, lady, your desires have doomed your husband. Because of you, your husband is in trouble. You may be a widow soon. Your husband escaped once, but this time there is no escape for him. On the other side of the door, a maid servant heard these words and started trembling. She had stolen an earring once with the help of her husband, who was the palace gardener, and this time the two had got greedy and stolen Queen's precious necklace. Hearing Gopal's words, she thought he was talking to her and knocked on his door. As soon as he opened it, she fell at his feet and begged forgiveness. Then she told him where the necklace and the earrings were. Gopal happily went and told this to the king. Once again, everyone marveled at Gopal's divine powers. A few weeks went by peacefully. Then one day, a messenger arrived from neighboring king. He had his in his hand he held a wooden box, its lid shut tight. The message from the king said, "We have heard much about a new astrologer in your court and his powers. Here is a test. Can he tell what is in this box?" The court turned towards Gopal. The kingdom's reputation was hanging in his words. Gopal, who of course had no idea what was in the box, muttered his father's words to himself. "Oh, frog, your life is indeed becoming very difficult." No one understood what he meant, but the messenger looked amazed. He opened the lid, and out hopped a frog. By now, King was very impressed with Gopal and showered him with gold coins. But Gopal had had enough. "I was told I would be able to predict only 3 things correctly," he told the king. "I have finished making all 3 prophecies. Now please let me return to my wife." Sadly, the king agreed and sent Gopal home, but not before plying him with many more gifts. Gopal and his wife lived the rest of their life in happiness and comfort. End of the story.